The stars were quiet when the Zirac fleet arrived at the edge of the solar system. Their metallic ships moved like shadows through deep space, their engines glowing a cold red color. At the center of the formation stood the flagship, a massive spear-shaped cruiser commanded by Warlord Vorsk, the most feared Zirac leader in 3-star sectors. He stared ahead with calm, sharp eyes. Far in the distance, a small blue planet floated like a lonely jewel. Earth Vorsk had heard stories about humans for many years, stories told in whispers, stories spoken only by survivors. But to him, they were nothing more than exaggerated tales created by weak minds. He believed humans were loud, emotional, and unorganized. Strong maybe, but not powerful. Brave maybe, but not dangerous. He believed today would prove him right. His second in command, a tall warrior named Skarn, stepped forward. "Commander, this is a bad idea," he said quietly. "Humans do not forget. They do not forgive. If we strike them, they will chase us across the galaxy." Vorsk smiled without emotion. "That is fear speaking, Skarn. And fear is a cage. Today, we break the cage." He turned toward the huge display screen that showed Earth growing larger and brighter with every second. Clouds swirled around the planet. Oceans sparkled. Human cities glowed in the night like stars on land. Vorsk lifted his hand. "Prepare the first attack wave." Crew members moved quickly, tapping controls and charging weapons. Red alarms flashed across the ship. The whole Zirac fleet aimed its cannons at Earth. Skarn swallowed hard. "Commander, the humans will respond. I want them to respond," Vorsk said. "Let them reveal their strength. Let the galaxy hear their cry. Today, we show everyone they are nothing special." The order was simple. Fire. A second later, hundreds of plasma missiles shot forward, glowing bright orange as they cut through the darkness of space. They headed straight for Earth, leaving long burning trails behind them. Vorsk watched with pride. This is the end of their stories. But down on Earth, something unexpected happened. Inside Earth's military command base, alarms screamed. Soldiers rushed from room to room. Screens showed the incoming missiles. For a moment, the entire planet held its breath. Then a calm voice echoed across the command center. "This is not a drill. Activate planetary defense grid." Giant platforms rose from Earth's surface, metal towers taller than mountains. The sky filled with blue energy shields that curved like giant domes over the planet. Railgun cannons locked onto the missiles with perfect accuracy in seconds. Earth answered. Blue streaks of light shot upward from the surface, hitting the first wave of missiles and making them explode in bright flashes. The night side of Earth turned bright as daylight from the counterattack. In orbit, Vorsk stepped back. "What? What happened?" he demanded. His radar officer looked terrified. "Commander, the humans destroyed the entire first wave. In less than 8 seconds?" Skarn whispered. "I warned you." But Vorsk refused to believe this. "Send the second wave. Double the firepower." More missiles fired. More energy blasts filled space. The attack was far stronger, far bigger this time. Earth did not just defend this time. Earth reacted. Dozens of human ships rose from behind the planet, silent and black like shadows made of metal. Their bodies were angular, sharp, and built with armor never seen by Zirac scanners. Blue lines glowed along their sides, signaling extreme power. The largest ship stepped forward. It looked like a moving mountain with wings of light. Human captain's voice came through the fleet broadcast. "Unknown attackers. You fired first. We are not running. We are not hiding. We are answering." Vorsk stared at the screen in shock. "These ships, I've never seen anything like them." The human fleet moved with unnatural precision. Every ship aligned perfectly. Every weapon charged at the same moment. "Their target, the Zirac flagship," Skarn whispered. "Commander, this is not normal. Humans were watching us. They were waiting." Vorsk growled. "Impossible. Humans are loud and chaotic. They cannot plan like this." But the proof was in front of him. The human fleet fired. Blue beams. sharper than any weapon Vorsk had ever seen, shot through space. They tore through the Zirak ships like paper. Entire cruisers exploded. Fighters broke apart. Shields collapsed. In less than 1 minute, 1/3 of Vorsk's fleet was gone. Earth sent another message. This time it was not a warning. It was a statement. You started this. We will finish it. Panic spread through the Zirak soldiers. Commander, we must retreat. They are stronger than we expected. Our shields are failing. Every officer was shouting. Vorsk's voice cracked for the first time. Pull back. Retreat, now. The Zirak fleet turned around and fired their engines at maximum power. One ship after another jumped into hyperspace, fleeing desperately into the darkness. Skarn looked at Vorsk with trembling eyes. You have made a mistake we cannot undo. Vorsk swallowed hard but said nothing. For the first time in many years, he felt fear. As the Zirak fleet vanished into deep space, the human ships watched silently. Their engines glowed bright, like eyes filled with cold promise, because humans had a rule. If someone attacks them, they will chase them. No matter how far, no matter how long, no matter who they are. Vorsk had just learned the truth. The attack had begun. But the real war was coming next. Asterisk, the Zirak fleet burst out of hyperspace like wounded animals. Their ships flickered with damaged lights, their hulls cracked, and their engines burned weakly. What had been a proud battle formation was now a broken line of frightened survivors drifting through the dark. Warlord Vorsk sat in his command chair without speaking. He stared at the hologram in front of him, a map showing their location. They had jumped far away from Earth, deep into a quiet star system with no planets and no life. Only a cold, empty sun burning in the distance. Skarn finally broke the silence. Commander, we escaped. Vorsk did not answer, because in his heart, he knew something terrible. Escaping humans was only the beginning of the nightmare. His sensors officer slowly raised his head. Commander, we detected no human ships here. No signals. No movement. We are alone. Vorsk released a breath he did not know he was holding. Good, we repair here. We regroup. Humans cannot track a hyperspace jump that far. But the way he said it made Skarn uneasy. Even Vorsk did not believe his own words. Hours passed. Zirak engineers worked on destroyed engines, burned armor, and cracked shields. Sparks flew across the hangar as they welded broken parts. Soldiers carried the bodies of fallen crew into cryostorage. The entire fleet felt heavy, like the air itself was filled with fear. Skarn walked to Vorsk's side. Commander, we must speak honestly. Vorsk did not turn. Then speak. You saw what I saw. Humans moved like they were waiting for us. They reacted too fast. Their ships were too strong. They followed our strategy before we even used it. They are not the same species we fought 100 cycles ago. Vorsk clenched his fist. Skarn continued softly. The stories were true. Humans do not fight like others. They do not attack for glory. They do not retreat to save themselves. They fight to protect their own. And when they chase someone, they do not stop. Vorsk finally met Skarn's eyes. You believe they will come? Skarn nodded. Yes, they will come. Vorsk looked back at the empty starfield. But then, a sound cut through the command deck. A soft, low beep. The radar officer turned pale. Commander, we have something. Vorsk stood quickly. What is it? A ship? No? Something stranger. A signal. Skarn frowned. From where? The officer swallowed. From behind us? Vorsk's blood ran cold. Impossible. The officer zoomed the hologram. Slowly. A shape appeared at extreme distance, almost invisible. It was dark, silent, not sending any communication. It just drifted, Skarn whispered, Commander. Is that? Vorsk stared hard. A single human ship. Sleek, black. No lights. No engines visible, just watching them. No matter how far the Zirak fled. The humans were already there. Panic spread through the Zirak ship like wildfire. How did they follow us? That was a blind hyperspace jump. Humans cannot track that far. But they did, Vorsk growled. Charge the engines. We jump again. Skarn stopped him. Commander, we cannot keep running. Our engines are damaged. Our fuel is low. And humans can follow every jump we make. Vorsk slammed his fist against the console. Then what do you expect we do? Wait for them to kill us? Skarn remained calm. We need to understand them. Humans hunt with purpose. They do not chase every enemy, only the ones who cross their line. And we crossed it. Vorsk turned slowly. Are you saying we surrender? Skarn looked at the floor. If we keep retreating, they will destroy us. If we fight, they will destroy us faster. If we hide, they will still find us. Vorsk's voice cracked. Then what option is left? Skarn looked up with a cold expression. We faced them. Silence filled the deck. Vorsk closed his eyes for a moment, then opened them with heavy breath. Prepare weapons. Turn the ship around. The Zyrak fleet shifted. The hunters had become the hunted, and now the hunted was trying to stand. As the Zyrak prepared for combat, the human ship finally moved, but it did not attack. It simply drifted closer. Slow, silent, calm. Like a predator that already knew the outcome, Vorsk stared at it. What kind of ship is that? The radar officer read the scans. Commander, this is not a battleship. Not a cruiser. Not even a destroyer. Vorsk narrowed his eyes. Then what is it? The officer's voice shook. A scout. The entire command deck went still. A scout. A single human scout ship was enough to follow an entire Xerox fleet, Skarn whispered. If this is only a scout, imagine what is behind it. Vorsk felt his stomach twist, and then the human ship did something unexpected. A small blue light flashed on its front. A message signal. They are sending a communication, the officer said. Open it. Vorsk ordered. The screen lit up. A human appeared, calm face, dark uniform, cold eyes that looked like they had seen 100 battles. His voice was steady, not angry, not loud, just certain. Asterisk, asterisk, Xerak. Fleet, you attacked Earth, you fled. We followed. This is your final chance. Stand down, asterisk, asterisk. Skarn whispered, Commander. They are offering mercy. But Vorsk saw something deeper in the human's eyes. Not hatred. Not revenge duty. Humans fought because they protected their home. They hunted because they protected their people. They chased because they kept their promises, and they had promised something to the galaxy. No enemy who attacks Earth will escape punishment. Vorsk clenched his jaw. We do not stand down, he said. Softly, the officer asked, Commander. Are you sure? Vorsk nodded. We run once more. If they follow again, then the galaxy will know humans never stop. The engines charged. The fleet prepared to jump. But just before they vanished into hyperspace, Vorsk whispered to himself, we should have listened to the warning. The jump activated. When the Zyrak fleet disappeared, the human scout ship turned slightly. Its engines glowed blue. And behind it, in the darkness, 10 massive human warships uncloaked. The hunt had only begun. Asterisk, the Xerak fleet ripped out of hyperspace for the second time. Engines overheating, shields shaking, and hull plates glowing red from stress. They fell into a dim star system filled with dead planets and collapsing asteroids. The sun at the center was dying a small red sphere, spitting weak light into the darkness. To Vorsk. The system felt like a graveyard. Skarn stared at the fading star. Commander, this place has no life, no energy, no safe orbit. It is dangerous to stay here, Vorsk exhaled slowly. That is why the humans will not follow us here. But even as he said it, his voice lacked confidence. The radar officer scanned the system again and again, hands shaking. No signals, no movement, no human ships. For a moment, the entire deck breathed in relief, but Skarn did not. He stared at the empty radar screen like it was a lie, and he was right. Hours passed. Zirac. Its engineers repaired weapons and restored damaged systems. The ship smelled like hot metal and burned wires. Everywhere Vorsk looked, he saw fear in his soldiers' eyes. Finally, Skarn approached him. "Commander, we need a plan." Vorsk nodded. "Yes, we must strike before they reach us. We must show the humans we can still fight." Skarn tried to speak, but hesitated. Humans had destroyed 1/3 of their fleet in minutes. Humans had tracked their jumps with impossible accuracy. Humans had appeared before they could even react, but Skarn said none of this. Before he could answer, a loud beep cut through the ship. The radar officer jumped up. "Commander, something is happening." Vorsk rushed to the screen. A ripple of blue light spread across the far end of the system, soft but unmistakable, a hyperspace signature. Skarn's voice dropped. "No, not again." The blue ripple stretched wider, brighter, stronger, as if space itself was opening. Then, with silent force, a massive shape appeared, a human dreadnought. The Zirac command. Deck shook with fear. The human dreadnought was bigger than anything Vorsk had ever imagined. It looked like a floating fortress, layers of black armor, glowing blue patterns, a long central spine filled with weapon ports. Its engines glowed with bright white fire. Its presence alone darkened the star. Skarn whispered in horror, "That is not a battleship. That is a whole city." More signatures appeared behind it, 1, 2, 5, 10 more human warships. They spread out like a silent net, surrounding the dead star system. Vorsk's breath froze. The humans had not just followed them. They had surrounded them. Skarn asked slowly. "Commander, what do we do now?" Vorsk clenched the edge of his console. "Prepare weapons. We will not die running." But even he knew the truth. There was no escape. The human dreadnought sent a signal. "Zirac fleet," human voice said calmly. "You attacked Earth. You ran. You forced pursuit. This star system is your last chance." The voice was almost gentle, but something about the tone made the entire Zirac crew tremble. It was not anger. It was not hate. It was certainty. Skarn whispered. "They are not here to negotiate." The human voice continued. "Stand down, or face what you brought upon yourselves." Vorsk shouted back, "We will never surrender. We are warriors." The human responded instantly, still calm. "Then you will face warriors." And the dreadnought moved. Blue energy flared across its hull. Small, sharp metal objects floated out from the ship, hundreds of them, each with glowing wings. Skarn stared in confusion. "What are those?" The officer scanned. "Commander, they are drones. Tiny drones. Silent. Fast. The humans unleashed them like a swarm. In 1 second, they vanished. In the next second, they appeared around the nearest Zirac cruiser. Blue flashes lit up the sky as the drones cut through the cruiser's armor like knives through soft metal. The ship exploded from the inside out, its glowing debris spreading like sparks. Vorsk shouted, "All ships, defend yourselves." But before the Zirac fleet could fire, the dreadnought released a new pulse. This time was a beam of blue energy. It hit an asteroid. The asteroid split in half, not cracked. Split cleanly smooth like glass. Skarn swallowed hard. That weapon. It cuts matter like water. Vorsk felt sweat drip down his neck. Humans have evolved. The dreadnought was preparing another attack. Meanwhile, the Zirac fleet panicked. One ship tried to run. A human destroyer appeared instantly, cutting it down. Another tried to hide behind a dead moon. A human cruiser fired once the moon shattered like ice. Every move the Zirac made was predictable. Every strategy was countered. Every escape route was blocked. Vorsk heard a young officer whisper, "They can read our movements before we make them." Skarn understood. They studied us. They know us better than we know ourselves. Vorsk finally shouted, "Full power to shields. Full power to weapons. Fire everything." The Zyrak fleet fired thousands of plasma blasts. They hit the human dreadnought, but the blasts dissolved into the dreadnought's shield, like sparks hitting a waterfall. Not a single scratch. The dreadnought returned fire once, one shot. Just one, half the Zyrak fleet vanished in a blue explosion that lit the system like a second sun. Skarn's voice shook. "Commander, we cannot win." Vorsk finally saw the truth. He had not attacked a weak species. He had attacked humanity, a species that survived by becoming stronger than every threat they faced. A species that never forgot. A species that always finished the fight. Vorsk whispered. "We have doomed ourselves." The human dreadnought prepared its final attack, and the galaxy watched as the Zyrak learned the real rule: do not strike the humans. Because once you begin, they will never let you flee. The dead star system shook under the power of the human dreadnought. Blue light glowed across its armored surface, growing brighter with every passing second. The Zyrak fleet, once proud and feared across many sectors, floated broken and scattered like dark pieces of metal drifting in a silent grave. Inside the Zyrak flagship, alarms screamed. Shields collapsed. Engines overheated. Weapons glowed red from energy overload. Warlord Vorsk stood on his command deck, staring at the massive human warship on the screen. It did not look like a machine. It looked like a judgment, calm, steady, and impossible to defeat. Skarn stepped forward, breathing heavily. "Commander, this is the end." Vorsk did not speak. He could feel it too. The dreadnought's giant main cannon began to charge. The blue light inside it rotated like a star being born. Every Zyrak officer felt their hearts sink. Skarn whispered, "Commander, they will destroy us with that shot." But then, something unexpected happened. The human dreadnought stopped charging. The blue light faded slightly. A communication signal appeared again. "Commander," the officer said, voice shaking, "the humans are sending another message." Vorsk straightened his back. "Open it." Screen lit up. A human captain appeared, calm, focused, eyes cold like the deep ocean. His uniform was marked with symbols Vorsk did not understand. The meaning was clear: authority, power, control over the battlefield. The human spoke slowly. "The Zyrak fleet, you are surrounded. You cannot run. You cannot hide. One order from me will finish everything." Vorsk clenched his jaw, but remained silent. The human continued. "You attacked Earth, and then you ran. But humanity does not chase out of anger. We chase because we protect our own." Skarn lowered his head. The human voice was calm, but it cut deeper than any weapon. "This is your last chance. Surrender now." The command deck fell silent. For the first time in his life, Vorsk felt small. Not because of weakness, but because he finally understood humans. They were not fighting for glory, not fighting for revenge, not fighting for territory. They were fighting because they had been hurt, and any species that hurt them was never allowed to hurt them again. Skarn placed a hand on Vorsk's shoulder. "Commander, accept it. This is the only way to save our people." Vorsk closed his eyes. He remembered what Skarn had said days ago. Humans do not stop. Humans do not fear. Humans protect. Vorsk finally whispered. "Open the channel." The communication link activated again. Vorsk looked at the human captain with exhausted eyes. We surrender." For a moment, everything went quiet. Then the human nodded slowly. "Lower your weapons." Vorsk turned toward his officers. "Drop shields. Deactivate cannons." Zyrak flagship dimmed. Weapons shut down. Engines powered off. Across the star system, all remaining Zyrak ships followed. Lights faded. Energy signatures dropped, for the first time since the battle began. There was silence, but the humans did not move. They waited. They watched. They scanned every Zyrak vessel to confirm the surrender was real. Skarn whispered. "They are cautious, but also fair." Vorsk nodded. "Humans do not show mercy to lies, but they do show mercy to truth." Human captain appeared again. "Vorsk of the Zyrak, your fleet attacked us. We pursued you not for revenge, but to ensure no human life is ever threatened again." Vorsk lowered his head. "We understand," the human continued. "Your ships will be disabled. Your weapons removed. Your engines sealed. But your people will live." Skarn exhaled deeply in relief. This was more mercy than they deserved. But then the human captain's expression hardened. "Know this, warlord," Sk looked up. "If you or any Zirak ever return to harm Earth or humanity again," the dreadnought's weapons glowed brighter, the space around it warping under its power. "We will not chase you next time." Captain leaned closer. "We will erase you." The message ended. The dreadnought turned slowly. Its engines lit up like blue suns, and then, in a burst of silent power, the human fleet jumped away, not running, not retreating, but leaving with a message that would echo across the galaxy forever. When the humans vanished, the Zirak fleet drifted silently among the dead planets. Soldiers cried softly. Officers fell to their knees. Skarn placed a hand on Vorsk's shoulder. "We are alive because humans allowed it." Vorsk stared at the fading glow in space, the trail left by the departing human ships. He said quietly, "They hunted us with purpose, not hate." He remembered the ancient warning that every species whispered, "Do not strike the humans, because once you begin, they will hunt you to the ends of the galaxy." Vorsk finally understood its true meaning. It was not a threat. It was not fear. It was the truth, and now the entire Zirak race would remember it forever. The battle was over. The war had ended, and the galaxy gained a new legend: humanity does not run. Humanity does not forget. Humanity finishes every fight. But most important, humanity protects its own.